All right, swag.
Turn my swag on. Yeah, we're gonna keep that off the
Let's just
podcast.
retract that.
Dude, I can cut it out when I'm editing, so we're
Yeah.
all good, I think. I hope.
Yeah. My mom. It's funny. My mom. I was talking to her today, so I was telling her I wanted to record an episode because she wanted me to go with her to pick up Keon.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm going to record an episode of the podcast with Garrett. And she was like, well, like, why? Like, she was like, why? Like, are you guys even uploading it? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, well, have you told anyone? Have you, like, posted about it? Have you, like, tried to get eyes on it? I was like, no.
No,
Like,
no.
I was like, and she was like, why? And I was like, well, Garrett and I have an unspoken agreement where we're not talking about it for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know why we're not.
Yeah.
But Steven knows about it. And he's
Yeah.
watched one episode or part of an episode. I saw that he clicked off. You can look at the logistics or like the analytics.
Yeah.
And one person's viewed it and it just drops off. Like it's like one viewer and like 5 minutes in it just drops off entirely. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, then we have 0 viewers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steven. Okay. Finish the episode. It's interesting. Okay. We talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about doing like a no topic podcast, it's like in order to like get viewers and stuff, you have to have content. And it's like our content right now is just us kind of like, talking it up.
Yeah.
So it's like if we come up with like kind of an idea of like some kind of structure and like what we like talking about things regularly, then it makes more sense to like talk about it. But I told her, I was like, right now we're like in the gym. Essentially, I was like, we're trying to get used to talking, looking at the camera, like being normal human beings, like on the thing,
Yeah, it's more of like, especially for these first few episodes, like if we had a structure now, or like if we tried to introduce a structure, I feel like we just get more caught up in how are we going to like break down every minute of it, and rather than just becoming more natural with talking to one another in this format and uploading it.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense to like become more comfortable with this kind of free flowing and then add structure in later. Even if we get like very little views or very little engagement on this structureless kind of flowing content.
But yeah, so just just something we talked about. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, we should probably maybe get it a bit more focused. But right now I'm chilling.
Yeah, me too. Because like the big thing, like I keep talking about wanting to start like a Dota YouTube channel, and like I might start. I don't know, like tomorrow. I mean, like there's nothing holding me back. You know what I mean? All I have to do is just put in the work.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been a thing of like getting myself the discipline to like do it. Because like the problem is I'll play a game that I'm like, this is great for a video. But then I'll be like, what if I was to play another game? Like, it's kind of like all the time I spend with Dota right now is playing the game, which is like, if you want to make content or something, like you have to balance it out.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't like a glasses person. Like, look at this. Because you see like the light in my light,
Yeah.
If I had no glasses, I mean, look at that. Boom. Just easy flowing format.
Oh yeah. Nice. Very nice.
But
I would be a glasses guy too if I didn't start wearing contacts.
Yeah.
I'd still be a glasses guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so the whole thing of like, like I think about video ideas, excuse me, but then I'm just like, I play the game, but I really need to kind of get a schedule for myself.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest things to do is when you don't have a job, you don't have school, like no one's telling you what to do, and you still manage to live with like some kind of schedule, some kind of routine.
Yeah.
Like I always respect people who like over the summer, they're like, I work out this time, I read, like it's like having like that scheduling, I think is cool. And I've always tried to do that for myself, but then I'm just like, my discipline is so whack. Cause like, you don't have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm like, I'll work out every day. And then 3 days, then I'm like, who's making me do this?
Yeah. It's kind of like,
yeah.
And like motivation is totally whack because, half the time you're not going to be motivated. You're just going to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like about wanting to do something else. But, they say it takes how many, what is like the saying that may or may not be true?
10,000 hours. That one.
No, that's how long it takes to become a master or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's like 30 days of doing something and then it becomes part of your schedule or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Dang, bro. According to the Healthline, the latest research, it could take anywhere from 18 to 254 days for a person to form a new habit.
What, 204? Boy, after 200 days, I'm pretty sure you're like
Yeah, it's like better
doing
be a
it
habit,
on the
dog. If
regular.
you're 254 days in and you're like, maybe it's not for you, dog. Like,
Yeah,
just do something else.
exactly. How, like, I guess if it's something super complex where you really
Yeah,
put a lot of thought into it, 260 days in or 240 or whatever it is,
yeah,
might not still be with it. But like, I don't know, like working out and stuff, I feel like after 200 days, if you're bumming it out, then you might want to find a new way to get some exercise.
yeah. But, but yeah, working out. It's funny because I took for granted that I was always in like pretty decent shape, like junior, senior year, ever since freshman year, really.
Yeah.
Like, yes, last night when I was freaking out, like maybe I have coronavirus, I was like wilding. I was like, I need to like test my lung capacity or something. So I
Yeah.
started like, doing like jumping jacks and like high knees, and I did push-ups, and I literally did 25 push-ups. Like I just dropped down to 25, and I'm like mildly sore today. And I was like,
After 25 push-ups. That's probably where
yeah,
I'd be right now. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's just like, yeah, which is fair, but like I used to do like, 25 put like I would do 25 push-ups in between work, like in between exercises. So like
oh,
I might do like, 6 sets of something. So I would total out to like 150 push-ups in a workout or 200 push-ups in a workout. That was not
yeah.
unusual for me. I literally did 25 and my body's like, I need to recover. Like, my muscles are like, I've been destroyed,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, all right, like.
Not to add to your paranoia, but muscle fatigue is one of the symptoms of
I know.
that viral.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm like, like, and also like being tired.
Yeah.
In the last 2 days, I've taken like pretty long naps. I just been like, I just get sleepy, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like when you usually get sleepy, like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who knows? I don't know anything.
Yeah. Some of the symptoms of coronavirus, it's like, that's what I do every
Yeah,
day. It's like
yeah,
headache, muscle fatigue, tired. Like, what? You're just describing like
yeah,
every single day for me. What are you talking
yeah.
about? I'm
So
always
you're just describing like being in like not that good of shape,
yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I I mean, my family had a scare a few days ago, and my sister got tested, but she came back negative. I think I told you about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Saying, dude, like my family had a scare too, freak, because like everyone, I've been at your house, of course,
Yeah.
so it was like, dude, I'm like, I'm like, I'm like,
You're setting back the time on your.
oh, I overturned it. I was trying to, I'm trying to like put the time in, but it was at like 11 o'clock, and I had to get it to 7.
Yeah.
Can it go backwards?
I would think so.
Oh, it can. How odd. Dude, imagine it was like a magical watch, and I could like rewind time.
Like in Harry Potter with the time turner. Good reference, Garrett. Thank you, Garrett.
I think it's broken.
Your watch? That's a rip.
The second thing isn't spinning.
Maybe it just needs a new battery.
I think it's mechanical.
Maybe it just needs to be wound.
I just wound it.
That's not winding it?
Is that
That's setting it.
how do you wind it?
You have to get like a key and like actually crank it up like a wind up toy.
Hmm.
Yeah. The How to Wind Clock podcast. How to Wind Watches podcast.
Yeah. I guess I'll stop fiddling with my watch right now. Sorry.
It's all right.
I thought to myself, I was like, I really want to get into a schedule. Like the first week when I was like, I'm going to do a schedule. It's going to be great. Productivity, here I come. And then Isaiah pulled up at like 6 a.m. He drove down from Columbia. He left his apartment at like 4 or 3.
Yeah.
He just couldn't sleep. And Isaiah doesn't sleep sometimes. He's like, I don't feel like sleeping. And he was like, I'll just go down to Charleston and surprise him. So he went and got coffee and donuts. 6 a.m. comes in the house. I hear the door open. I immediately wake up, grab my hammer, roll out of bed. And I'm very proud of myself because I like always have that hammer. And people are always like, you never know what you'll do in a scary situation until it happens.
Yeah.
And I woke up, like I was literally like asleep. And like I went and grabbed the hammer, rolled out of bed, and I crouched and I like walked to walked low to the door.
Yeah.
I like opened it slowly. I leaned around, I just peeked out. I heard the footsteps. I like kind of backed back up. I had the hammer and I waited. And I heard Isaiah go like, free. And I was like, oh, it's Isaiah. So I put my hammer back down. I was like, yo, dog, what's good? Like, why are you here at 6 a.m.? I'm asleep,
Yeah, exactly.
And then, when Isaiah was here, like, it was just, I was hanging out and like all that stuff. So my schedule just got thrown out of whack.
Yeah.
I have like an hour and a half of productivity time. Then I have like gaming time. Then I have like reading. Like I have all this, like, what I'm saying. And then when Isaiah's here, like we're just hanging out and
yeah,
schedule just kind of got forgotten. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had a schedule on that chalkboard back there, but I erased it because I was like, I'm not adhering to this at all.
Yeah.
But I should probably put it back up there. It's just like, what's my schedule gonna like contain? Like I work.
Yeah.
I guess at my own pace because I do DoorDash.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's even harder for someone like you to schedule your time because you really don't do anything that requires a certain timeline other than DoorDash. But DoorDash is one of those things where you don't have to confine yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But I probably should like start because I want to make more money off of DoorDash.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, where does this fit into my schedule? But I don't even have a schedule.
Oh.
But I don't even have the schedule. Yeah. So like I just don't know. I gotta work out more. We obviously gotta record the podcast. And I gotta do DoorDash and make the big bucks. But other than that, I really do nothing. Like I hang out with friends on like Discord or whatever, but I really have like zero productivity most of the week. Yeah. And like stuff gets shifted around so much. Like it's so dependent on other people.
Yeah.
Like DoorDash, I've found that some days just aren't busy. So like I'll be working for an hour and get maybe like one delivery. And I was like, this isn't even worth it. So I quit the shift or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 2 hours later, it's like, all right, it's very busy now. Get back on the clock. And I'm like, I'm not going to get back on the clock.
Yeah, I just got off the clock.
Yeah. So like fitting DoorDash even into my schedule or like fitting Hangouts into my schedule, which is like the two things that I do. It's just like, how do I work that out when it's so dependent on other people's schedules?
Yeah.
So that's a big struggle. But I guess working out, I really have no excuse there. I'm just like, I'm lazy. I'm skinny boy McGee. I can't really, I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's interesting because, like, I'm kind of experiencing now what most people experience when they work out, which is, like, your body doesn't really, like, rock with it,
Yeah.
Like, when I started going to the gym here, like, my body, I had been, like half a month without working out. but I always kind of would work out like off and on, not without a super strict schedule, but I would,
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first started going to the gym regularly again, and like for a while I was like sore and like a little weak compared to like, well, I was definitely weak compared to like how I was in weightlifting, senior year.
Yeah.
But I just told my body like I don't give a freak, like eat it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was doing the same weight for reps with squats that I've been doing when I was in weightlifting class, working out every day or doing something physical every day.
Yeah.
And for a while, it was like a little bit hard on my back and like my whatever, because I probably should have lowered the weight. But I just didn't want to lower my weight because I was like, I already don't do a lot,
Yeah.
relative to like, I don't know, nothing, because there's no reason to compare yourself. But I already just didn't feel like I was doing a lot of weight. So I was like, I can't lower from already not a lot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just maintained the weight, and my body, because I've still been working out for like the last few years pretty consistently, it just adapted. And like, I wasn't really sore. I always had energy. I could always get a workout in. And it wasn't a problem. Like I could get an hour, 20-minute workout in, and it was like no big deal. But now I'm at the point where I'll run to the mailbox. And I'm like, 10-second break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I've always had terrible cardio because asthma, but also like it's like if you have asthma and you don't develop your cardio, it's worse. So I've always had bad cardio, but now my cardio is trash. And it's like it's crazy because I used to run to the gym sometimes, and the gym's like, I mean, it's right there. Like it's not a run. It's like, I would just do it to warm up. And I'd like, I'd walk into the gym maybe a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I get that from like jogging to like the car.
Yeah.
I'm just like, God dang. So I'm like, where's my freaking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's like, it's really interesting experiencing my body like being weak because I've always maintained good workouts and stuff. The fact that I had asthma wasn't able to have much power over me because I kept my respiratory system active. But now that I've spent 4 months of just sitting around in my room and like, just like doing nothing, my whole body is just like, it feels weird. It's like, it always makes me think of like the kind of morbidity of like people like, sometimes you see people who are like really fat or whatever. At least for me, I'll think to myself, like, you don't just get there, it's a slow build. And I think to myself, like, I wonder if that person will, like, I wonder if they'll die before they ever get to feel young and energetic and vital again, Like there are people over there, like in their 50s and 60s, or even, their 40s, 30s, but mostly like, 40s, 50s and on. People will gain weight. They stop exercising. And it's like, at least from a physical standpoint, it's almost like they're waiting to die. I mean, they're not really developing or training or doing anything. And it's like, really, that's when you need it the most.
Yeah.
And in all the countries with the longest lifespans and stuff, the people walk very regularly. They exercise in the park. They do all kinds, your body needs to be active.
Yeah.
And it's like, I always kind of was like, if I wanted, back when I was interested in wanting to make a YouTube channel, maybe about fitness or something, I was like, I don't even have a cool transformation. I was like, I've always been like, like pretty fit, I was like, I've never been like shredded or anything, but I've always been like, all right.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not even that inspiring. Just like, did you have to like work really hard to get where you were? It's like, no, not really. No. Like, it's just kind of, this is just kind of like where I'm at, So I kind of wanted to stop to get like a deficit so I could then work out of it. But you were going to say something?
Like with all those transitions that you're talking about, like the P90X or whatever, there's like the before and this is the after.
Yeah.
Like I always see like really big people.
Yeah.
Like, like really big people or, moderately big people sometimes.
But you don't see the hard gainers?
But you don't see the skinny person.
That's what a hard gainer is.
Oh, that's what a hard gainer is? So you don't see the hard gainer. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So I'm like a freaking twig, dog. Like you could snap like Mirage from Incredible.
They call it a hard gainer because like someone who's really fat, it's easier for them to build muscle than you. Like
Yeah.
you're a hard gainer. You could tell by the way your body's shaped. Like people who are just skinny naturally,
Yeah.
and it shows your insertion genetics, like all your stuff that all of your genetics that are around musculature, you're just not predisposed to it.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to work 2 or 3 times as hard as someone with good insertion genetics. Like someone like me, I have pretty good muscle genetics as far as like they're just kind of there, and I can
Yeah.
like build them up if I choose to. But it's like even if I don't work out like right now, I still have like just a little bit. You know, I still have something.
Yeah.
Where someone who's a hard gainer, their body's default is to have just not a lot of muscle mass, and then even when they try to build muscle mass, your body resists. Like you'll metabolize muscle and stuff like that because it's just not natural. That's why
That's
it's called
so
hard gainer.
that's so unfair. Like, dog, like I'm trying, I'm out here, I have
Yeah.
these twig arms, like
But even
they're
now
not that big.
you have a bicep there.
I mean, yeah, but how long is that gonna last? A week, maybe, if I don't start working out. Like
I'm just
that,
saying
like that's better than I usually am.
I remember in high school when you were like you had just I mean you were like thin
Yeah,
thin, you know. So it's
yeah.
like you're still growing and developing.
I'm getting better, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
but that's not without trying. Like, I rode when I was in college. Or,
Mhm.
well, I'm still in college, obviously, but it's summertime.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was at college, like I would row on that rowing machine, and now I
Yeah.
have a Pilates machine that I do
Mhm.
like
Oh
these.
yeah, the little yeah,
Yeah,
the yeah.
yeah, you've seen it.
Yeah.
So like I'm working on it, but my legs especially, like I look at them in the mirror, like in
Mhm.
like like restaurant windows or whatever when they reflect back,
Yeah.
and thought they're like this thick around. It's nothing. It's like
Yeah.
it's really I don't know. I guess it's just discouraging to
Yeah.
like work out and stuff and not see any
Not see the
results. Like
gains.
yeah, like
Yeah.
months after. This is what I have like after months.
Yeah.
Like
That's the thing about being a hard gainer. You know, the big thing about it is increasing your consumption. Because a lot of people who have problem putting on muscle, well, they have one of two issues. Some people have really high metabolism, and so even though they do eat a lot, their metabolism is super high, and
yeah,
that's why they're super thin in the first place. So it's really hard to beat that curve. What you have to do is just eat even more, and like that sucks for a lot of people, but some people do it. And the other thing is people just naturally don't eat a lot. I think you're someone who just naturally doesn't eat a lot. You know,
I don't eat a lot. I eat like a bird.
yeah, like the amount of like protein you need to ingest is probably a lot higher than what you're ingesting. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember the calculation. It was like 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, and it's like, how much do you weigh? Like
I weigh
one.
like 140, I think, 130, 135, 140.
That's so crazy, dude. You're so light.
I
Like,
yeah. I can be,
I've been 170 since freshman year of high school.
I've
Like
never been
literally,
170.
yeah. Like it's weird. Like I've literally been the same weight, height, and build since freshman year. Like the only thing that's changed, I gained a little bit more. Like I gained like more like forearm like muscle and stuff,
Yeah.
and like just the natural muscles that come as you age as a male. But like my body, like freshman year, my freaking like my pituitary was like, this guy, he's got it. I think I'm not feeling too well, and it just
Yeah.
freaking like no more growth hormone for your boy, you know.
Yeah.
But like when I work out, like I go to the gym, I can do like a week, 2 weeks, and I'll start to see like real like definition differences.
A
I'll
week, a
start,
few weeks.
yeah, like a week, two, I'll start to see like I've measured before. Like one time, I got like an inch on my bicep from like 3 weeks of working out.
That's so
So
insane, dog. You're really
yeah,
just flexing on me in
well,
one
yeah,
one dog.
like yeah, literally, I just flex, but like
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying like
Yeah.
it's one of those things that like I kind of got lucky in that way.
Yeah. It's just you're predisposed to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at the same time, the downside is it means I'm also predisposed to be like, if I don't like exercise or if I eat trash, I'll get fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And luckily I'm not predisposed to like be fat. Like I'm very much a middle of the like my physique and body type is very middle of the road.
Yeah.
I think it's a good balance. But sorry, I'm just setting my not ordering, sending my McDonald's order to my family. But
I gotcha.
it's like being someone who's middle of the road like that. You kind of like, it's just up to you and your decision making how you're gonna look and be.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think if you look at someone who got like he's a little bit, he's less like if there's like, if you have skinny, like naturally skinny, naturally like shorter and more muscular, and then like naturally like wider and bigger, Jean's on this side. He's in the middle between skinny and muscular,
Yeah.
because you've seen Jean like with the shirt off, or even just
Yeah.
now in general. Like he has really good muscle definition,
Mm-hmm.
but he's thinner and taller.
Yeah.
And the trade-off is he doesn't have as much muscle as he could, like if he was shorter and like more built like me. And even though he works out like a lot, his muscles kind of have like a like cap to growth that's like, once again, someone like me wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And it's funny because John's like, he's still like, I'm so skinny, and I'm like, dog, you're not skinny. Like you have muscle for sure now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were skinny, yeah, like in like 8th grade, but it's like,
Yeah.
you're not skinny anymore, dog. Like,
For sure. I remember skinny Ajon.
yeah.
He's not skinny anymore. He's for sure not skinny anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there's a funny picture of him like flexing his biceps, and like they're like, it's like a little like, I mean, he's super shredded. John's always had like 6-pack, so he's always been like 12% body fat or less.
Yeah.
That's the thing, dude. Like Tyler, like, and you, because you guys have such low body fat percentages, could just have 6-packs year round all the time naturally.
When? Like, have you seen my stomach? I'm not gonna show it on camera, but like my stomach, I don't have a 6-pack. I think you're thinking
you could. I said could.
Could? What do you mean could? Like anyone could have a 6-pack.
Well, no, I'm saying your body fat percentage is such that if you develop your core muscles, you'll have a visible 6-pack all the time.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
So if those muscles develop, it'll actually
like someone like me, I've always had like they call it like baby fat. People call it different things, but I've always had like that little like layer of like fat covering my abs, and like it's just, once again, it just comes with the body type. Like genuinely, like you see people who are like my height and build generally, even in the really good shape. Now, yes, of course, if you slim down to like 10% body fat or whatever, you're gonna have visible abs.
Yeah.
But if you're at like, I was always probably like 14, 50 in that range, because you could see my upper abs, but you couldn't see my lower abs because there was a little bit of fat.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's like more fat on them, but I'm still not fat. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just harder work for me to show my core. But like someone like you, if you develop your core muscles, you can just, you can always go like, you do that skinny guy flex where you just like, just breathe out a little bit, and then all your abs like, telling you, Ajon does that all the time. Like Ajon doesn't even know, Ajon doesn't know how to not flex.
Yeah, I guess I'll start working on my core. I don't do core workouts. I don't know, like, I always think you have to have a partner with those, because the only one I know is like these little things, the sit-ups.
Crunches. Well, sit-ups aren't even actually that good.
Really?
Yeah, they're hard to do, and they're bad for your back.
Ah, so what should I be doing?
Well, crunches are better. Dude, crunches. Like,
what are crunches? Oh, these little things?
Yeah.
But I hate those.
Yeah, dude. We used to do, so when I was, like, once again, I was in, like, I wish I would have stuck with some sport, because sports just turn you into an athlete, but you don't think about it because you're just doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something like wrestling, or, I got into jiu-jitsu very briefly, or even Taekwondo. I wish I would have stayed with one of those, because you're just in good shape and you don't even think about it, because you're like, because it feels like you're going to play a game. You're not like, it's not like it's hard, or it was hard, but it's not, it's fun.
Yeah. It's like, it's almost a distraction from the fact that you're working out.
Yeah. Like in wrestling, I remember we used to, in the gym, every single day, at the end of our workout, we'd have core medley, right?
Yeah.
So there were like different exercises you could choose from, and you had to do 1,000 repetitions. So what we would do is I might do 200 crunches. Then I might do like, 100 like flutter kicks. Then I might do another 200 crunches. Then I might do like, you know what I'm saying? Like we did crazy reps of core. And like I was like, once again, I always had a little bit of fat, but my upper core and like my core was like very stable, very strong. And I
Yeah.
remember like we used to like in the like one of the dumb things we did, you know, like we'd always do this thing where like you'd flex your core and they like try to hit you in the core and try
Yeah.
to make you like breathe out because your upper abs can kind of protect your lower lungs, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff. So we would like flex and like try to, that hurt. We try to hit like right there because you know the solar plexus. You know what that
Yeah.
is? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know if you hit right there, it's very sensitive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got hit with it's like your sternum, right? Like around your
Yeah,
sternum.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I got hit right there one time. God dang
yeah,
it, that hurts so bad.
yeah. The thing is, if you develop your core, you can really, really protect it. So we would flex and then go like, you know, whatever, and like
Yeah.
mess with each other. And like I mean, I used to be able to do 1,000 reps, and like it was like, oh, that's Monday, you know, like I just did that, and now I'm in
Shoot.
my room, you know, like, eh, like you know when you do core exercise and you're like, you know, and
Dude,
that
yeah.
yeah, that's like me now, and I'm just like, dog, what happened to you? Like I realized I was like freshman year of me could beat my cheeks now,
Yeah.
like freaking 15-year-old Eric would be like. I'm like, you know, it's like, dang, son, like, rip
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But
I should
dude,
get I
yeah,
used to
man,
do karate when I was in elementary school. I should get back into like a martial art or something.
yeah. I
But
think
the thing
everyone
is,
should do a
like,
martial art. They're fun. They're like productive, and you learn so much. I
I'm
like,
s-
it's
I'm
great.
super prone to concussions. I'm like super prone to them. Like if I get knocked down
Oh, because the accident, or just because?
because of the accident,
Yeah,
the more concussions you have,
hmm,
uh, the more susceptible to concussions you are.
yeah,
If I get kicked like really hard in the head, that might be lights out for Garrett.
yeah.
Like
Well,
for
you should
real,
just
for
get.
real.
If you ever do a martial art, do grappling. People
That's still
people don't naturally lead towards grappling, but it's it's the safest of the martial arts for sure. It has the most longevity, and it's like it's the easiest I think to get into
what
because
even is grappling? Let me look that up.
like jujitsu or judo or any of those,
Those still seem like I'd get kicked in the face.
you can't kick in those.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Those are it's not striking,
Uh,
it's grappling. Like it's like tussling, grapple. You grapple.
dude, I'm literally looking at something that someone's about to get the biggest concussion of their whole life.
What do you
Here,
mean?
let me share my screen. You've disabled screen sharing. See, like, okay, someone's about to get the biggest concussion of their whole life right here.
Okay, yeah, that's like something else.
Is that not grappling? Because
That
that looks very similar to like this and this. And
yeah.
this guy's crying. This guy, he's like,
Well,
there.
that's MMA. That's like
Ah,
MMA is a fusion of everything.
you
Like,
see,
dude, you want to see something cool?
ah, that just
Oh,
doesn't.
well, I mean, it doesn't like jujitsu, like that. Click that. That one you just had
What,
your
which
mouse
one?
on.
This one?
No, the one with the dude. Scroll up a little bit.
This one?
Had the dudes with the gis on. That one. Click that.
Oh, this one?
That's what jujitsu is. Like,
That's
I mean,
jujitsu?
not that. Like, yeah. Like, obviously, like you don't have to be getting choked like that. But that's like it's grappling. It's on the ground. Like people, you can't throw. You can't do any of that kind of stuff.
You
So
see, yeah, but like I'm still thinking that I would definitely get my brain hurt. Like, look, a lot of these pictures seem like I'd get my. Okay, that's the same picture.
yeah. Well, those are different sports. Those are all
So
different.
you're pretty high up
That
there.
like those are different sports. Those are combative grappling. That's like those are like freestyle. I mean, look at what they're wearing. In traditional jujitsu, if you're training with like someone
Hmm.
who's like trained traditionally, you're going to be wearing those kind of clothing. You're
Yeah.
gonna it's very like trust me, I've been to classes. Like it's
Yeah.
very chill. And the thing is, you don't have to spar.
Oh yeah,
You
that
don't
looks chill.
you don't have to fight.
Yeah.
Like you can just train. It's a very like social thing.
They have women's grappling. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yes, that makes sense. They have a lot of women's sport. The U.S. World Team returned to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's
But here, let me show you like this clip
that's
real quick.
insane. This guy.
Same. Like
Oh,
that.
see, like that guy's definitely about to die.
Nah, dude. When someone picks you up like that, you can't slam. That's against the rules.
Okay, people can do things that are against the rules.
Trust me, I've been picked up like that before. It's not that bad. It's actually fun. It's kind of cool.
People break
No,
the rules all the time.
what's
Look,
satisfying?
that's
What's
jujitsu,
yeah?
I think.
It is. What's satisfying is picking someone up like that because you realize how light people are. You're like, whoa, this is great.
I don't think that I could ever, like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't compete. I'd probably train for it
Yeah,
and maybe use it as like kind of a self-defense thing.
yeah.
Dang, those kids are young. As like a
Oh yeah,
self-defense
dude.
thing.
Oh yeah, people start young. I just think like striking is what everyone thinks like, oh, I should get into martial art, and they go do like karate or like whatever. I think karate is the least productive martial art
I'm probably not
because
gonna do karate again.
yeah, I'm just saying that like karate has the most fake teachers. It's like super Americanized and it's very like
Yeah.
like just fake in general. And then I think taekwondo is pretty good. Like judo is pretty good. But once again, like so with taekwondo, you know, even like my master, he said like he was like, you're never gonna kick. He's like if you ever get in a street fight, if you're in a self defense situation, you don't want to kick somebody, you know. Now the taekwondo kick, he was like because you're gonna throw your leg up, they can catch it, and then if they have any level of combat or fighting experience, you
Yeah.
get your cheeks clapped, you know.
That's what I always think. Is like I could learn all these like kickboxing techniques, but all someone has to do is and then you're
Yep.
gone. Like
And
it's
the thing is, it's like we did. So Apkido is another Korean martial art that's, but it's much more practical. It's like Taekwondo, but the kicks are less like cool and elegant, and they're more brutal and effective. So instead of like kicking someone like in Taekwondo, you kick like you know the body.
yeah.
In Apkido, you're gonna like kick a knee or kick an ankle to like destroy a joint or like knock a person
Oh,
down, and you
like
learn
at
a
the
lot.
end of Karate Kid where he says sleep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and you learn a lot of like wrist locks. Like we learned the most basic wrist lock, which is like where you just do like this, like
Yeah.
that, dude. That junk hurts.
I
It's
bet.
funny. So in order to show us the effectiveness of the wrist lock, they did a father-son class, and
Hmm.
all of us sons got to bring down our dads with just that move.
Oh
It was
dang.
like even my dad, who's had like real combat experience, literally like fought human beings like to stay alive.
Yeah.
Like I could bring him to his literal knees, like with that
Yeah.
one wrist lock.
Well, because what else are you gonna do except for even like
Yeah,
doing it to yourself like
and
that?
it's,
That kind
yeah.
of brings the knees
Mm-hmm.
down.
Well, and the thing is, like this is you doing it to yourself, right? But
Yeah.
when someone's doing
Exactly.
the move, they have your hand in this hand, and then this is like bracing your elbow, like
Yeah.
this. And he's like, he's like in a real like, he's like the move is you have this lock, you grab this flesh right here, and you rip across, and you just tear that tendon. That's like the move. That's like what the purpose of it is.
Is that like the same thing where you grip your thumb like this and you like fling it
Yeah,
down and it rips
yeah,
the tendon right here? That's the same
mhm,
kind of technique.
yeah. So if you do that move to someone properly, you would literally just tear this tendon or the tendon in here, and then like that arm would just be useless. But
Yeah. And
but
then
of
you do it to
course,
the other arm and then they're like,
yeah. Well, and that's why when we do the move, he's like he tells everyone beforehand. He's like, you guys. He's like it's gonna hurt a lot. He's like, go down. He's like, I know, because the whole thing is it's like their dad. They were our dads, so they're gonna be all like, I'm tough. And
yeah,
it was weird because I never see my dad like whatever.
yeah,
And I could tell, and they all fought it because there were like two dads in there who were like military.
yeah,
So they of course were resisting super hard, like, but eventually, it's like,
yeah,
because it's like if you don't, it could literally tear that tendon. It's like it's not worth
yeah.
it, bro.
And
Just
then you're
take,
in the hospital after a
yeah,
father-son like
yeah.
demonstration.
It's like just
Oh,
accept the L, eat it up, eat it up.
eat it up, dog. Exactly. But that martial art, it's a real martial art. I think it's Chinese, but I might be mistaken. The one in Avatar, or it's based off or like the one in Avatar is based off of this, but
Mm.
where you just dodge, you don't like strike a single blow, but you just dodge around.
Mm.
Like you let their own momentum kind of like fall through. They mention it in an episode of Film Theory, I think. God, I'm
Mm.
really sounding like my real ignorance about real martial arts is
Coming
falling
through.
through.
Yeah,
But I'm referencing Avatar and Film Theory.
yeah,
But it's a real martial art. I'm relatively certain.
yeah. Here, look at this real quick. I'm gonna share my screen. Are you
Okay.
looking?
Yeah, I'm looking.
All right, so look at this. This is crazy. This is like it's like from UFC, which is MMA.
Oh, I've seen this.
Oh yeah.
I think you might have shown it to me.
Oh really?
Maybe. And he just flies up with, yeah, yeah, you showed that to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so the interesting thing about it is the curly haired guy.
Yeah.
He's a grappler, and grapplers are always taught to go for the legs, you know. And that guy who he was fighting, his name's Jorge Masvidal. He watched a bunch of his fights and noticed that that guy Ben Askren, he was like a wrestler in college and stuff, and he was like a national champ. You know, he's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
So if he fights a guy with a striking background, who's like a disciple of any striking martial art, he knows if I take you to the ground, all of a sudden you're using a skill set you've been using for like 5 years, and I'm using a skill set I've been using since middle school. Yeah. And it just becomes, he just dismantles people on the ground, and they just don't know what they're doing. Because like even the best strikers in MMA, you know, they're freaking ready to like throw some punches.
Yeah.
He just runs at their legs, and the second they hit the mat, all of their combat, like all their training and stuff, is just useless. Because he's been wrestling forever, and he beat the best wrestlers in the country, and he was an Olympic wrestler, so he's on another level. And then they just take the L. So the thing is, that guy, knowing he was going to go for his legs, decided, I'm just going to like jump and throw a knee and see what happens.
Yeah.
And he had studied the guy so well that it was just a one move fight, literally.
Dang, that is really impressive. Like the amount of skill that you have to not only like know about martial arts, but study someone and get like a pattern down of their attacks and everything. That's so like insane to me. That's so foreign to me. But like, it's super interesting.
Yeah, it is. And what I like the most about like martial arts, especially the reason I think grappling is like the best one to get into.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, you'll know like all of his friends do jiu-jitsu pretty much.
Yeah.
Because he gets them into it. And he always says jiu-jitsu is like the thinking man's game and all that stuff. And as far as sports go, I've always been combat sports are the only sports that I'm really interested in. And like wrestling was really fun, and jiu-jitsu I like a lot because there's like you could spend years perfecting like a very simple skill set, and there's so many like there's things to think about. It's like a puzzle, you know.
Yeah.
There's like so much going on, and you don't have to be stronger. You don't have to be more athletic. It's about like, are you smarter, you know?
Yeah.
And like knowing how to use your body. Like it's funny. We went to jiu-jitsu here to try it out, and Ajan went with me. And Ajan and I by far the most athletic people in the class.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close. And there are guys in there with brown belts, all that stuff, but they're just not athletes like we are, you know?
Yeah.
So when we're doing like the jumps and the rolls, I mean, we're killing it, you know? Freaking jumping all over the place, rolling like crazy, you know, easy money.
Mm-hmm.
My physical coordination at that time was amazing. I could do this, like this is the thing you do where you roll backwards, and when your hands touch, you push up into a handstand and throw yourself like backwards. Yeah. I could do that like very well. Like I had the great coordination for athleticism. So we looked like freaking savage. I'm not gonna lie. Like, John and I were smiling at each other. We're like, look at us, dog. We're like clearly the most athletic people in this building.
Yeah.
And once it came down to start sparring and doing stuff, you know, we're up against, you know, John, there's this white kid who was like all skinny and clearly, you know, was hating a little bit, you know, on, you know, me and John. Cause, you know, we just come in out of nowhere. We're just like freaking taking over the room with our awesomeness.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because he was up against Ajon. I got matched with this dude who's like a brown belt, some Navy guy from here. He's like been competing and stuff. He was in good shape. Jeez. And he let me do stuff, which was cool. Yeah. You know, because, you know, they always do. Like it's training. It's cool because it's your first day in, and you're already rolling with people, and you're like getting put in a lock, and you're moving here, and it's like once you do it, you see how I could do this for years, because you know what I'm saying? Like it takes long to master, and it's practical. Something like karate, you can do karate for a year and not know how to do anything. Like you get into a fight, like, ha! You know, that's what you've learned. Congratulations on a year of karate. It's like, it's not very practical. But in something like jiu-jitsu or judo, but especially jiu-jitsu, because judo's a lot of throws.
Yeah.
Once again, like the freak are you gonna do? Like someone's like, hey man, you're like, oh, and like throw them over your shoulder, like, you know.
Yeah.
But with jujitsu, you learn a lot about using like your weight and using like leverage, and you learn how to like feel your body. Like it's cool. Like
Yeah.
all the stuff they talk about in Avatar, I guess, you know, like about like rooting yourself and feeling your weight, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Once you like have someone try to throw you around or pull you down, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I see how I can like, you know, do this.
Speaking of Avatar, I did find that that name of the martial art, but I don't know how to pronounce it. So the Great Master.
So
Yeah.
it's Kempo karate.
Where is the? Oh yeah, okay. The
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I thought that was. I didn't even read like all of that. I saw this and thought it was a name and like skipped around and I was just like, all right, where is the name? So it's
Okinawan Choki.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's so Okinawan, so it's Japanese.
Yeah.
So okay, that makes sense. So
Because
it's
karate's
like,
Japanese and stuff. And that's the thing, dude. Like,
oh yeah,
I definitely want to get back into martial arts though. Like, because that's the thing. Like, martial arts, it's just one of the best ways to develop. Like, if you want to be someone who exercises, and it's a good way to just routinely work out. You know,
yeah.
it
I
can
don't
be
need
hard to know what to do.
Yeah, there are Chinese martial arts. Okay, I wasn't completely.
Kung fu.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
could have
I
thought
mean,
about that. Yeah,
that's the most like, you know, obvious one.
yeah. Well, I just don't want to sound like a complete idiot saying that like Chinese martial arts and sound like a ding dong. But yeah, Kung Fu, obviously. I just watched the Bruce Lee documentary, Be Water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, well, part of it. But,
Mhm.
like, I should have known, like, Chinese Kung Fu. Should have
Yeah.
been able to put these pieces together, but I was like,
Yeah.
you know.
Real quick, you should let me share my like. You let me
Oh,
share my
yeah.
screen. And I'll show you something real quick.
Yeah.
Because you talked about dodging, it made me think of this other thing. This is pretty cool. So this is like a boxing match, but you could see in this guy's movement just how good of a striker he is.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is.
Oh, dang.
So if you look, I was thinking, it looks like he hit him on two of them, but he actually didn't. Like when you do striking, what you find out is like when you have the adrenaline of like being in a fight,
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel much. So unless they really hit you, you're not going to feel it. And even in
Yeah.
Taekwondo, so like when someone goes to kick your head, if you're good, that's the thing, dude. Like I don't know why I stopped doing martial arts. Like I was so naturally talented, and people would tell me that all the time.
Yeah.
It was cool to be good at something. Now I play Dota, but like no one knows who's a freak. You know, Taekwondo, like my master would be like, Eric, you're like progressing and like all that stuff. No one tells me I'm progressing now. I just play Dota and I'm like, am I good? Am I try? You know, but I remember when people would like people would always try to kick you in the head, and you like, the first time I dodged a head kick, I was like, oh, what's that? What's that dragging on the floor? That's my meat. That's my meat. You know, like it's so cool because like someone's all like, and it looks so slow. You're just like, and the foot just goes whoosh. And I was like, I'm saying? The jug was so freaking cool.
And you got kicked super hard in the head because you didn't dodge the second one. You were so busy celebrating.
Yeah, no. What happened is,
really?
okay. So I was sparring this guy named Master Ebner. He's a master, like a black belt, but like 3rd degree. I was like a yellow belt, and I'm like, I got this. This is easy. Also, he's 6'4", and I'm 5'9". So I'm like, I'm gonna kick him in the head. Because Master Black was like, kick him in the head, Eric. Kick him in the head. And I was like, facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah. And he was going easy on me. It's not like he was like, if he was going full force, he probably would have killed me. Like, like, literally. I mean, this is a grown man, 6'4". He could have hurt me, and he wasn't trying to. So I go to kick his head, and here's my this is my body.
Yeah.
These are my legs. I kick like that at his head. He kicks like up the middle of my body. His foot hits right here. His shin hits my like stomach, and like the back, like the like his knee area hits me in like the junk.
Oh,
And he like
that's
lifted,
such a rip.
I lifted like an inch off the ground. So he caught me and I got picked up by his foot and I just fell. And I was like,
Oh,
oh.
oh,
Yeah, dog. And
that,
I was like, this is why you can't. And it's crazy because I didn't see his foot. Like when I was sparring the person who was with the same belt as me, I mean, I dodged that jump. Sparring him, I didn't see jump coming. Hey, Gion, I was up, then I was down and in pain, and I was like, I was kicked. I was kicked like at some point. I was struck,
Like when Ed from Fullmetal Alchemist, he goes at Bradley with the spear and just gets sliced before he even sees it.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. That's the thing too. I love like skill and like stuff like that,
Yeah.
Like when I play Dota, I genuinely think to myself, like when I make a good play, I'm like, I'm so good. Look at me. Like I enjoy like the idea of being good at something and like mastering mechanics or increasing your knowledge base. Yeah. So I take Dota seriously. Like I play seriously. I try to like get better and like learn things. I like to outplay people, but it's always just a little bit more satisfying to do it in real life because people see it.
Yeah.
And people acknowledge it, and you get to have like there's the community element of progressing and developing as whatever you're doing that you just don't get in video games. At least not unless you're like a YouTuber or someone like that. Like people aren't going to see that development. It's more like you just do it in your room, and then you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's probably a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I see that your family's back home, probably with your McDonald's. So.
Yeah. Well, this is true. So thanks for that, and good talks on martial arts. And
good talk.